Hey, what's going on, guys? For this week's Mook review, we're checking out a Mook that's all about how to paint small-scale character figures. This is the Paint by Calories Mook here. Recipes for female figures. Let's go ahead and check it out. So let's get into it here. This book is by Tadanobu Kuniya, and as you can see, it's featuring mostly the Campus Friends Set 2 from Tamiya is going to be the set that's actually used for the character figures that we're going to see in here. Also, this little Vespa there as well. So just to give you guys a look at our dust jacket there. Oh, Kuniya's simple yet effective beauty painting methods. There you go. Underneath the main dust jacket, we have a nice photo there of some tools, kind of black and white image. And if we go around here onto the back side, our MSRP for this one is 2,700 yen. So about $23, $24, $25 around there. And it's not exactly a very thick Mook. We have probably, let's see, just about 80 pages. So it's not really all that big. Here's a nice little sandwich there on the back, and the inside of the dust jacket on the back side there as well. We have some advertisements for some other figure painting Mooks here, a few of the Nose Art Queen Mooks, as well as the Pygmalion Mook there as well. On the other side, we have the Plastic Angels books there, 1 and 2 from Shunya Yamashita. Book 1 we actually took a look at before. Book 2 I also have and we'll be taking a look at probably in a future video. A couple of other character painting books here. This one I do also have as well, and we'll be taking a look at that in a future video also. All right, getting into it here, Paint by Calories. I'm not exactly sure what the reference is for Paint by Calories. I don't know exactly what that means, and obviously the entire Mook here is going to be all in Japanese, so I think it would take some translation to figure out exactly what's going on with that, what exactly that means. Here's our table of contents over here, but let's get into it. So this first what's section, I would imagine probably tells a little bit about what exactly Paint by Calories is talking about. I just snapped the translation of that, so if you guys want to pause the video and read, you can read that. But let's get into over here with the chef's profile of Tadanobu Kuniya. You can see some of his different works and kind of a little bit about him, so just kind of a nice introduction there, which looks very cool. An introduction to Kuniya's tools here. So we've got the air compressor, airbrush, of course, spray booth, drying rack, tools for handling your parts, brushes, masks, microscope, basically just to be able to see those small details, loop, and others, some other different products there. But everything is going to be a mixture of hand brushing and airbrushing here for this Mook. First of all, here we have some makeup basics. So this is kind of interesting, just kind of the basics of how different colors and just kind of the general theory of like kind of how colors and shapes are defined there on the face. So that's kind of interesting. Of course, worthwhile knowledge to know if you're going to be painting character figures like this. So this is an introduction here to the Campus Friends Set 2. So this is, like I said, a set available from Tamiya. So here's just kind of what the kit is going to look like, just the runners of the set anyway, what you get included, just some waterslide decals, a few runners, and your instructions. And the first kit we're going to be taking a look at here is the low-calorie skirt girl. I'm guessing by low-calorie it means that this is kind of like the more beginner stages here. So we have it kind of broken down here, 120 calories, and there's going to be a few points covered in this first section. And then over here, it shows you all the different paints that are going to be used, which is very interesting. So you have your surfacers, some different paints, some different accent colors. You have both lacquer and enamel paints used for this one. So all very interesting. And then it's just going to go through the steps. So for example, here for the face, you have the stages where it shows you exactly what product is used. And there's also a little bit description kind of about how it's used in here as well. So all very nice, very helpful. You have a little bit over here about different kind of skin tones, for example. So just going to go through that like this for each of the different builds in the book, basically going through. And what I really like about this is that it's showing you exactly what product's used and also describing how it's used. And so it's kind of very step-by-step. If you guys are interested in learning how to paint like this, it's definitely something that I think you could find useful. So here's our finished product with a couple of different photos there. And then we're on to the next one, which is the high calorie skirt girl here. So this is I believe this is the exact same kit, but it has the option to either be doing like the peace sign hand or holding like a coffee cup. So for this one, you can see this is 850 calories, and there's going to be a couple of points covered with this one. Again, here's all the paints and everything used for the recipe there, as it were. And again, just kind of going through the stages of painting here. But yeah, very nice, really cool. Definitely something. And oh, by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but this set is in 1/24th scale, if I remember correctly. Yes, 1/24th scale. So it's going to be pretty small. These are really small character figures. If you guys, I mean, if you ever built any of the old Master Grade kits that came with the kind of larger scale Gundam character in there, those are 120 scale, so this is going to be even smaller than that. And like most Maschinen Krieger character figure models are like usually 120 scale. There's some 1/5 as well. This is going to be in between there. So really cool tips for how to paint the character, how to paint the skin tone, the dress, and everything here to get our, again, finished results there at the end. Now, switching up a little bit, here's my cockpit. We can see a kind of diorama of his workroom, his hobby room here, with a whole bunch of stuff in it. You got the computer down over there, all the books and models and everything kind of everywhere. So there's some more about that, and then continue on here to the next page. A lot of cool stuff that you can see in there. And then up next, we've got the low-calorie hoodie girl. So this is going to be our next one in the series. This one again covering just a number of different points here for making the hoodie girl. There's all of our paint used. And it's really kind of cool how it's just showing you exactly how to paint these particular models in the set. So if you were to pick up that set from Tamiya and this book, it's like the perfect companion book for how to paint those. But obviously, you don't have to apply these steps to only those kits. They would be applicable to any other kind of similar kits, of course, and all sorts of different small-scale character model kits. But it's kind of cool how this is like the perfect companion book for that particular set. It's very interesting. So there's the finishing touches there on the hoodie. And a little bit over here about sandblasting paint, which is quite interesting. And goes over an interesting technique there, I suppose. So that's pretty cool. Here's our finished product. And then we've got the high calorie. So it looks like we've got a low calorie and high calorie versions, I guess, of some of these kits. This is the hoodie girl again. We've got for the next one, it's going to be a little bit different. Like I said, these kits, this kit, each figure comes with like a couple of different option parts, I believe, if I remember correctly. So like this one will just have like a different head on it instead of the long ponytail and hat. There's a different version that just has the shorter hair like that you can make with this. So for this one, he's just done it a little bit differently, a little bit different colors, and a little bit different, I guess, kind of technique as to kind of how the skin and how the face is painted and everything. And you can see some different techniques done over here on the pants to make them look like some worn jeans instead. So a little bit different there for the look that you can make with that. And then the hoodie being in white would obviously be a little bit more kind of challenging, I guess, how to paint like white clothing. Normally, if it's like on the last one, how we saw the hoodie was in red, it's kind of a little bit easier to shade and highlight red because you have all sorts of different shades of red that you can use. For white, I mean, you have different shades of gray, but then if you want to include any like colors in there, if you're just going to only keep it in shades of gray, it would provide an interesting challenge for you anyway. So, and then here's painting the shoes and the finished product there. Up next, a little bit about like skin color tone here, it looks like. So you have a few different options there with that. And here is some more about painting and shading for face parts over here, and a couple of different examples there, as you can see. So pretty cool. Looks like we're going to have messages from a few different artists over here, it looks like. So that looks pretty interesting. And then the next one is going to be our high calorie bike girl over here. So this is the one that goes, it's meant to go like with the moped. Because as you can see from the pose, she's kind of like leaning and holding the helmet there. So leaning on that. I don't think that this book is going to cover at all any of the painting of the actual moped itself. But again, for this one, we just got all the step-by-step process of painting, starting with the faces. Face is kind of like the most important part, and then you go on and paint like the rest of the body and clothing and accessories and everything else after that. But you can see this one has kind of a much more dramatic kind of shading and highlighting effect on the clothing there, but that looks really nice. And there's the painted, I don't know, I keep saying moped. It's either moped or Vespa. What is it? It's a Vino there, as I can see on it, but yeah, I don't know what exactly is the right word for that. It's a Vino motorbike, anyway, scooter. Anyway, here's a little bit about coordinating your color patterns. So it looks like this is probably just a photograph of the kit and then just using an application to just apply colors over the parts. So you can kind of experiment whether you wanted to have the top in white or a different color and the color for the pants, and you can coordinate the colors between the kits like this, kind of experimenting on what colors are going to look good for the different sets. I would also say that for characters like this, there's a lot of different source material that you could look at, different fashion magazines or street photography or something like that. Anyway, there would be a lot of different options as far as how you might want to paint the clothing and what kind of like markings you might want to put on the clothing, stuff like that, which we're actually not seeing any of in here. But I imagine that would be something that you could, of course, add just using decals and stuff. There's more about color scheming over there, and then this is the medium calorie selfie girl, which I think is going to be our last one here for the Mook. So we're already towards the end here. This one is going to be, again, just using some different techniques. Looks like here for the painting of the character figure. And here we got, again, starting off with the face, all the steps for painting the face here. And the next part, painting the clothing, the shirt, and the pants. The shirt is interesting because it's making it look like it's 2 layers with like an outer layer and like a white camisole kind of underneath. And so painting that in a way to make it look like you can kind of see the white camisole through the orange shirt on top of it, sort of. So it's also in kind of an interesting technique there for that one. Painting the shoes, and then the finished product over here. And yeah, like I said, I think that's it. As we're getting to the last page, it's just going to be the credits page. And that's all for this Mook. So kind of a short one. Like I said, it's less than 100 pages. And very much just like an exact guide for that particular set of character figures there from Tamiya. But like I said, you can use this for anything. So a lot of really cool, interesting stuff in there. Definitely going to take some translation to really get the full value of this Mook, to really make the most of it, to learn from the different techniques and everything in here. So I'll have to spend some more time with this and my phone translator app to get everything translated and probably make some notes, things like that, and try out some of these techniques on some future kits. But that's it for this one. What did you guys think of this Mook? Let me know down in the comment section below. As always, guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you want to check out some more different model kits, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. The link is down in the video description below. As always, thanks so much for all your support, liking the video, commenting, subscribing. It's all very helpful, so thank you guys so much. Until next time, have a great day. Bye, guys.